Hey there, and welcome to 25 Minutes from Nashville. My name is Rick Barker, and I am founder of the Music Industry Blueprint. And if this is your first time joining us, 25 Minutes from Nashville, I just talk about the music business. I am in a business that I absolutely love. That's my commute time from where I live to my office on Music Row. And I do a lot of thinking in the car. I do a lot of thinking in the shower, and I didn't think it was appropriate to drop the iPhone in the shower and have those conversations with you. I'm one of those people that I carry on these conversations in my brain, which can be dangerous sometimes. But I find myself really thinking about this industry and really thinking about where it's been, where it's going. I hear a lot of complaining, from a lot of people. Sorry about the way I'm all bundled up today. It's 24 degrees here with a wind chill of like 4, which I guess for anyone that's cold, except if you're like in Minnesota. But for me, it's a little chilly. But one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about lately is I subscribe to a lot of blogs. I listen to a lot of people. I've been speaking all over the country, and everyone keeps bitching about the record companies and, I don't want to be signed to a major label. And, the major labels, if you sign to them, you're signing your life away and you'll never make any money. And the bottom line is this: most of the people doing that talking, one, isn't good enough to be on a major label. Two, they don't understand the workings of a major label because they never have worked for a major label, or they've never managed an artist at a major label to understand that a label could be your friend. And if you've got the right product and you're the right artist, a label can absolutely change your life. Now, is a record deal for everyone? Absolutely not. Have we heard reports of people who've signed bad record deals? Sure, blame your attorney if you sign a bad record deal. Or don't sign it. You've got the choice. But the thing is that right now, too many uneducated folks are talking way too much crap. So I wanted to set the record straight. Let me say that these are my opinions and my opinions only. I have not only worked for a record label, I have managed an artist who was on a label, not major at the time I was managing her, but boy, that record label sure is major now, thanks to her help. And I consult major record labels, so I'm very familiar with the inner workings. And a lot of what I'm going to say is not going to be politically correct for a lot of people, and for that I apologize. You can turn this off at any time, you can unsubscribe, you can unfollow, but basically as folks who know me, I always make this preface whenever I'm speaking with anyone. Two things. One, I'm like sushi. I'm an acquired taste. I'm not for everyone. Okay? Two, my grammar absolutely sucks, but you will completely get the point. And unfortunately, there's no spelling or grammar check on video, which is perfect because I'm not writing anything, but speaking, I can go off. So let me start by this. The record labels have the ability to take somebody from this to outside the stratosphere. They also have the ability to totally screw things up, depending on the record label, depending on the company that you get involved with. A lot of times I find record labels, in my opinion, are signing artists way before they're ready. And then they're getting pissed because radio didn't play them, or this or that, or blah, 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 blah. It's not the radio station's fault that you didn't do your homework. It's not the radio station's fault that your artist can't perform. It's not the radio station's fault that most of the artists that you bring them don't know how to communicate with people, or make eye contact, or have firm handshakes, or decide that if they're chicks, they want to have crapped up fingernails and look like a slob. That is not the radio station's fault. Now, on the other hand, the artist, in my opinion, need to earn the right to get a release. Too often, I think we're falling in love with the song, or we're falling in love with the music, or we see this person do one song and we get really excited and we put the ball in motion and off we are to the races. And the problem with that is then once you get them out on radio tour, and once the studio time has been done, and once the setup's been done, you're a couple $100,000 in, you may find out that that artist is a total jerk off. or that artist can't wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, or that artist manufactured that sound in the studio. We had that problem happen one time. It's like, I use the analogy, it's like me throwing one great pass and thinking that now all of a sudden I should be the quarterback of the Denver Broncos. It's not going to happen. There's a lot more to it than just throwing one perfect pass. Matter of fact, I better understand the blitz or I'm going to get killed. I'm overweight. I'm 46 years old. The odds of me having a career in the NFL are not there. No matter how good of a pass, no matter how good of 100 passes in a row I throw. Once I get in the game, it's completely different. And that's the same thing with the record business. It's more than just singing. It's more than just performing. Now, it all starts with the song. Let me throw that out there. I'm not saying that the music can absolutely suck, but what I'm saying is that is not the end-all be-all. There's other things that we need to think about. One of the things that I've tried to study, yesterday I was talking with Scott Borchetta, Big Machine Label Group. I consider him a historian. He's been around for a long time. I said, Scott, I've been racking my brain. I am trying to figure out if I can recall an artist who got dropped from their label for selling way too many records or having way too many fans. And of course, we both laughed because that's not the case. And if that's the one thing that can determine whether a record company makes money or an artist gets to keep their career, why wouldn't that be the sole focus before the major investment and before taking that song to radio? If that's the one thing that controls everything is sales or fans, why is less time spent on fan development and teaching the artist how to engage their fan base before we throw, $500,000 to go work a single to radio and try to build it that way? It's beyond me. Absolutely beyond me. Everyone thinks Taylor Swift came out of nowhere. Taylor Swift was building her fans and working on her craft for 4 years before she ever stepped foot in a radio station. Everyone says, if you sell 100,000 downloads, you should forget the record deal. You should never do a record deal. Ask Florida Georgia Line how that would have worked out for them. They did go out and sell 100,000 downloads on their own. They did develop as writers. They did continue to go play college parties and small bars working on their live show. And then guess what happened? After they signed their record deal with Big Machine Records, the Big Machine Label Group, they signed on a Monday, shipped their single to radio Monday night, charted on a Tuesday, 15 weeks later had their first number one, and I think right now they're up to 6.2 million downloads of one particular song that they had sold 100,000 on their own. Would that have happened without the record label? Absolutely not. There's no way that they would have been able to get that kind of traction in that short a period of time to control and become the superstars that they are today. But what did Florida Georgia Line and Taylor Swift have that most people don't have? They had work ethic, and they knew that if they wanted to show that they were different, you see, when Taylor came along, Taylor didn't sound like anyone else. She sounded like Taylor Swift, and that's what scared people. When Florida Georgia Line came along, Florida Georgia Line, they showcased for every label. Every label knew who they were. Heck, their manager and the publishing company, Craig Wiseman, Big Loud Shirt, they'd written hundreds of hit songs. But see, Florida Georgia Line sounded like Florida Georgia Line. They didn't sound like anyone either. And that scared people. So what Taylor did is she went to MySpace and she went and created her own audience. Florida Georgia Line invested in themselves, put a good team together, and they went out and showed, you know what? There is a market for what it is that we do. So the perception changed. The music didn't change. The lyrics didn't change. The melody didn't change. The perception changed. And today, you cannot turn on a radio station without hearing Taylor Swift or Florida Georgia Line over and over and over again. So, here's the deal. Do you need a major label record deal to have a career in the music business? Absolutely not. Do you need a record label if you want to have world domination in the music industry? In my opinion, I believe so. So what's the best way to get it? Go out there and prove that there are people that are hungry for you and your music. Too often, we create the product first and then we try to go force feed it to an audience, and the labels, I hate to say it, are as guilty as everyone else for doing that. Right now, you have the ability with the internet, and now I'm speaking to both independent artists and any industry person or label person that might be reading this or watching this, you have the ability to get in front of an audience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and find out if there's a hungry audience for what it is that you're trying to feed them before you ever have to make a major investment in anything. So why would you not take advantage of that? Why would you not spend some time? Who cares if it takes a year or 2 years? Shit, we're not curing cancer. We're in the music business. If it takes 2 years, 3 years, if it even takes 4 years to build a solid fan base of hungry consumers, why wouldn't that be the focus? Why is more time spent in the studio and out chasing radio with new artists that actually, in my opinion, haven't earned the right to be there, than there are out there trying to find out and see if that audience is available for them? Right now, I think we need to spend less time going to music seminars and more time in marketing seminars. And that's where I've spent the last year and a half, and it's been absolutely a blast to open up and see why it is that our industry, which creates more content than anyone in the world, is not doing as well as it could be online. Now, here's the thing. This, like I said, this is my opinion only. A lot of people are going to bitch. A lot of people are going to go, who the hell does Rick Barker think he is? I'm just a guy that's got an opinion, but I'm a guy that bases my opinion on facts. And you can go fact check anything. Go find me an artist that's been dropped from a major label or because they had way too many fans. You can go find artists who've had great chart position who no longer have their record deals. So obviously radio's not the end all be all, and radio is not your savior. Once again, the fans are your savior, not radio. How can somebody have a number 2 song and then their next song fail and then be dropped from a record label? Because they didn't sell enough records. And artists, stop bitching at the labels. They are the bank, and the bank is going to put the best deal possible to get their investment back. And I read an article the other day and it says, labels rip off the artists. The artists don't make any money. Well, most of the time, neither do the labels on that particular artist. There are more failures every year than there are successes. It's just the successes pay real well. So I would be doing everything in my humanly power to go out there and be a success. If you want any more information on me, or if you're an independent artist and you would like to understand a little bit more about the business, I do offer a free video series. All you have to do is hit my website up, musicindustryBlueprint.com. If anybody would like to reach out to me and yell, scream, complain, whatever, I'm open to that. Rick@rickbarker.com. Every time I get involved in conversation, it makes me better because I get a little bit more education and a little bit more knowledge, which is something no one can ever take. So I'm going to get back to heading into the office. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. And like I said, if you'd like to chat, you know how to get a hold of me. Later.